What is up, you amazing people? It is I, Anima, and today I want to talk about a game called Fallen Knight. I do have to thank DigiPen for hooking me up with a copy of the game so I could review it. I was really interested in it because it just reminded me of like a streamlined Mega Man, except for with swords, which is really important. So I did take some time to review the game, and I'm going to let you guys know if the streamlined Mega Man is a good game or if the streamlined is maybe a problem. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you guys to please hit that like and subscribe button. Each and every one of you guys are amazing. I can't thank you enough. We're almost at 600, which is awesome. It's just insane how much we're growing. Anyway, so I remember kind of going through future games, and this was like last month, and I was watching, I think it was Good Talk HQ, or maybe One Crummy Gamer. I was watching one of their channels, and I was just kind of browsing through these games, and I saw Fallen Knights, and I thought, this game looks really interesting. Like, I've become a late game Mega Man fan, especially after playing Mega Man 11, and this looked like it totally had that kind of vibe, and so I was excited to check it out. Went ahead, got a hold of the company, and just asked for some information. They ended up hooking me up with a code, like I said. And in this world, humanity has found the Holy Grail, essentially a key to immortality. And they formed this group, that sort of agency, if you will, that they end up calling the Knights of the Round Table. And of course, there's Sir Lancelot, which is who you are. And some of your other knights have defected, and some of them are, I don't know, doing other stuff. Because at the time, they have a major terrorist threat, as somebody has threatened to eradicate the Holy Grail and basically get rid of the, secret to immortality. And you being a knight, it's your job to go protect whatever this thing is. You know what it is, what it looks like. You just don't know exactly what it is, but you gotta go protect it from this big, bad, evil dude. And at this point, it's when I'm assuming that there's more people, because there was another one of your colleagues who went in first, and they kind of got trapped. You don't really see anything more of them in the first game, but no one else shows up. I figure, if it's Knights of the Round Table, and you're looking at, an apocalyptic, catastrophic situation, there would be more than just you there. Hey, we got Lancelot. Okay, cool, but the world's gonna end. We should call in other people. Oh, sorry, Sir Bill, I think he took the day off, Oh, let's try to call him in. Sorry, guys, I can't come in. I'm gonna be at my mom's at Scottsdale, so you knew that. It's not an option. Really, you'd think Sir Bill, Sir Mike, whoever, could actually come in and actually, save the world. But whatever, it's a video games, and this is how those things break down a lot of times. Hell, even the superhero movies, the world's gonna end, and all we got is Hawkeye. Ah, shit, really? No one else? Isn't the Hulk in this area? Doesn't he live nearby? Wolverine? He's not available. Just Hawkeye, huh? Ugh. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. It's the whole idea of how they make you the last line of defense, or the only line of defense in a lot of these games, and that's fine. Whatever. So, as I'm playing it, I realize, they have the same kind of, outlook, HUD system, if you will, that Mega Man has, where you choose the bad guy, based on the boss, and it'll just take you to a level, you fight, a level or two, and then you fight the boss, and you go on. Well, I've realized that is about the last thing that reminds me of Mega Man about this game. The aesthetics and this whole level deciding HUD. That's it. They pretty much dropped the whole Mega Man stuff very quickly after that. And honestly, even things that the boss selection, there's 6, and Mega Man usually has more than that. So you didn't even really get to that. And by the way, the first level you play is one of the bosses. So it's a tutorial, so it kind of walks you through. And I don't really feel like that is that challenging, or even leaves you that many options. But it's even a little bit more streamlined than that, as the abilities that you get, or the powers you get from beating said bosses, actually don't help beat the other bosses. I've learned real world life lessons from Mega Man. You definitely gotta have fire before you go fight a wood dude, things like that are very important. But this one, no, you get a different kind of hit. You can now do an uppercut, or you can jump and attack coming down. And these bosses actually use certain mechanisms or abilities in the boss fight, so you can actually see that, maybe you could inherit that. But no, you don't get anything aside from just being able to move a little bit different. And yeah, you are rewarded some points that you can turn into permanent upgrades, as far as HP and some of your chaining abilities, and and there's stuff to add on to it. I'll be honest though, none of it really matters. The HP does, obviously, but everything else is just kind of, I didn't notice a difference, I'll put it that way. And this whole thing when I keep saying streamlined, I'm saying streamlined now, because it's the nicest way that I can say half-baked, unfinished. Like, not only was the aspect of the bosses kind of lackluster, let me tell you something. The first boss, like I said, is a tutorial. The last level for the final boss is like a VR mission. Like, you're basically being tested on your speed and your strength and your perception. It's like, oh hey, the apocalypse is happening, but hey, let's get that cardio up real quick. You know, like, what are you doing? But it's almost like they just ran out of ideas. Like, oh yeah, we're not really sure what to put in here. Hey, let's just have him train and then fight the main boss. What? What is the point of it? And for me, it would have all been acceptable. It would have been acceptable for the fact that I could beat this game in a single sitting, because it's only about 3 hours, maybe 2 hours long. I'm sure there's people who could beat it in an hour. And that's fine, I guess, if it's a good game. That's what bothers me. The controls are incredibly shoddy. They're unreliable. At times, they feel good, but other times you notice there's like, your character doesn't move like he normally does with the stick, or when you're attacking, there's a little bit of delay at times. Even jumping, there's a bit of a delay. You try to get into some of these different moves, which start to, like, when you first start out, it actually feels pretty good and actually feels pretty fun, but the longer you play, the more problems you start seeing, and ultimately, it becomes a thing where they had a good idea, and I think early on, it was pretty decent, because again, the game looks well, it plays well, it does all those things that you would want them to do, and it really does remind you of sort of like a Mega Man clone, but they just didn't, it's like they didn't stay convicted to it. They changed their mind, or they kind of gave up halfway through, I don't know, or it's Apple, I don't know, maybe they got pressured into putting the game out, which is another thing. I played Oceanhorn 1 and 2, and I was like, I gotta get Apple products, I gotta play Apple Arcade. I take that back completely. I think all they had was Oceanhorn. Every time I play a different Apple game, they suck. So I was a bit nervous when I did see that this was Apple, but again, like I said, like the first few levels, this game actually feels really fun, and you're happy for what you have, but it's the lack of growth, it's the lack of gameplay, honestly, is there's only just a few levels really, and it's the lack of controls. These type of games, especially if you're going to make them difficult, because that would be where you would grow with this, is you would play it on a higher difficulty, and you need good controls, and it doesn't have very good controls. The little bit of lag, the delay, it almost feels tight, if that makes sense. All of that all together just doesn't work for me, and I wish it did, because like I said, parts of this game, I thought there's a lot of potential, and even when I first started playing it, I thought, I'm gonna give this game a good review, I like this, and yeah, this is why you play a whole game all the way through, I guess, because the way I ended was definitely not the way I started, I put it that way. Anyway, let me know if you guys have heard of Fallen Knights, or if you're interested in it, or let me know anything about Fallen Knight, or any other games you're playing. Really curious to hear what you guys have to say, right down there in the comment section down below. But, like always, I'm wishing you guys health, wealth, and above all, hope you're truly happy, because you make me happy. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.